The siege of Samaria ended with a miracle, but for the Aramean soldiers, it began with a nightmare. We know the story of the 4 lepers who found the camp empty, but we rarely stop to ask, what did the enemy actually hear? History tells us of armies defeated by swords, but 2 Kings 7 tells us of a superpower defeated by a sound. Imagine being a seasoned soldier in the Aramean camp, the most dominant force of the era. You are well-fed, well-armed, and victory is just a matter of days away. Then, in the dead of the night, the silence of the valley is shattered. The text describes it as the roar of a great army, the thundering of chariots, and the neighing of thousands of horses. But here is the controverse detail. There was no physical army. The Arameans weren't hearing a nearby nation attacking. They were hearing a supernatural frequency. In military psychology, this is known as acoustic warfare. By causing the enemy to hear a force that wasn't there, God didn't just win a battle, He induced a collective psychosis. The Arameans didn't just retreat, they fled in such a panic that they left their clothes and sandals in the dirt. They were so terrified of the sound that they forgot to grab their gold. Why did they assume it was the Hittites and the Egyptians? Because in 841 BC, those were the only powers that could rival Aram. Their logic was their downfall. They were so busy looking at the political map that they forgot to look at the spiritual one. The Arameans made a calculated move to starve Samaria, but they didn't calculate for a God who can weaponize the wind. The phantom army was more effective than a real one because you cannot fight a shadow. You cannot outrun a sound that is inside your own head. The ghost army serves as a warning for those who rely solely on what they can see. The Arameans had the food, the weapons, and the walls surrounded, but they lost everything because they were tuned in to the wrong frequency. As we look at the sieges in our own lives, we have to ask, are we reacting to the noise of the world, or are we listening for the truth? Sometimes the very thing that terrifies the enemy is a sound only they can hear. I'm Controverse. If you want more deep dives into the unseen side of history, make sure you've watched the full Siege of Samaria investigation. We'll see you in the next one.